2020 combined with coronavirus.
Did someone plan Covid-19? Hi and welcome back to Real World Magic. Now by now you may already have seen strange videos coming out on YouTube about the coronavirus pandemic. Naturally, with the whole world talking about it, affected by it, restricted and dying from it as a result, yeah, it's a big deal, and lots of people on YouTube are now using it to get views. Even I did a video about a book published in 1981 that appeared to predict it, linked up here. But while it may seem like a very weird time in world history right now, there's something weirder. Whenever stuff like 9/11 happens, the moon landings happen, Princess Diana dies in a car crash, or anything else that's huge in the world, conspiracy theories come about pretty quickly. Hashtag JFK. Coronavirus is just the latest in a long line of this kind of reaction. However, recently I saw a video that made me wonder whether there really is something to it. It's pretty scary, but there is something called predictive programming, where the theory goes that running out of material for creative works, artists use future events as inspiration. Some people think they know it or they guess it, and others think they're in some way able to influence it to actually happen. Now either way, are we missing something here? This is what I'm talking about.
Smallpox in action, avian influenza where the jet stream is how it happens. 2020 combined with coronavirus, body stacking.
A YouTube video of a song called Pandemic by Dr. Creep featuring the Lone Ninja. And it predicted that in 2020 we would be, and I quote, confined by coronavirus. As I said in my last video about predictions like this, linked up here, yeah, it's creepy, it's strange. This one is like he knew.
2020 combined with coronavirus, body stacking.
2020 confined by coronavirus. If you listen to the whole thing, it even explains how it got here.
Avian influenza where the jet stream is how it happens.
How it happened, and that it's a blue shop propaganda for world population control. Their words, not mine. Now that's interesting. So when was this uploaded? June 21st, 2013. Okay, so let's stop and use some logic here for a second. 2020 sounds and looks and feels a lot further away and more distinctive than 2019 when you're in 2013. I know 2020 and 2019 are next door to one another, but the whole new decade thing makes it feel different. So nowadays, now we're living in the 2020s decade, we find it hard to look back and remember how foreign and exotic it sounded to people in the past. The noughties sound stupid, and the 10 years after the noughties doesn't even have a name. The twin teens? Actually, that's quite good. Maybe I should trademark that. But the 20s is easy. Hey dude, get alive, this is the 20s for crying out loud. Yeah, it's got a ring to it. So, to predict something like coronavirus at any point, 2020 seems like it's not a too drastic step, really, if it's going to be in the future. But come on, coronavirus? If anything at all were to happen in 2020, why coronavirus? Now, we fixed 2020 as a predicted time and explained why, but what's so special about coronavirus? Why would someone predict it when it wasn't even discovered until November 2019? Well, that's not actually true. I admit they didn't have the name Covid-19 in the song at all, and so they weren't very specific about which coronavirus, and this, I think, is a massive sticking point to a lot of these predictions and conspiracy theories. You see, a coronavirus is a family of viruses, not just Covid-19. For some weird reason, the world has bought into this new anti-brand called coronavirus. We all know consciously that it's actually called Covid-19. Most people call it coronavirus as a way of explaining it to people who may not know. We're playing to the lowest common denominator again, and it's making the world more stupid. By using the family name coronavirus, it's a bit like saying 2020 confined by flu. Every year the World Health Organization releases data based on what they predict will be the biggest influenza strain that year. Vaccines are then produced and boom, we all get vaccines and flu for that year is suppressed enough that we generally can cope. No global pandemic. Covid-19 is different. It's not just the flu. Sure, it is the flu, but it's more than that. It's like chronic pneumonia. Symptoms vary a lot, of course, but it is a highly contagious disease, mainly because of the gestation period, where those who are infected and infectious don't even know that they've got anything yet. They still hang out, shake hands, cough, kiss, sneeze all over other people, and that's why it's spreading. Coronaviruses don't spread, people spread them. So when we look at the last pandemic, that was the Spanish flu, so named because Spain was the main country reporting it. Spain was neutral in the war and so reported the truth rather than wartime propaganda, and so it appeared that places like Britain and America didn't have it. Yet Spain is certainly not to blame for it. It's likely that the American soldiers spread it around Europe more than most, even if it didn't originate in America. Anyway, I'm digressing. So, the idea that the next pandemic is a coronavirus is not really a big leap. Indeed, once this is all over, and it will be at some point, there could, and probably will be, another outbreak, and when the next pandemic occurs, it's almost certainly going to be a coronavirus. That is, a virus with a number of protein blockers to get past the immune system, arranged on a greasy substance to protect the RNA centre, or nucleus, from damage, and that's what a coronavirus is. So get informed. Wizards are people, usually men, but there is a female form, witch, which also has a similar etymology, where the origin of the word is wise. So the real magic here is to become a real witch or wizard, and you need to be wise. Of course, I can see why people are hooking into this stuff. It's exotic, it's interesting, but the only real question is why there isn't more stuff predicting the coronavirus outbreak in 2020. It seems like a nice round number, doesn't it, 2020? Now remember that confirmation bias always throws out all of the times where things were predicted and didn't come true. And if you want any of that stuff, look at Nostradamus. He's had several thousand years to do it, and often he's wrong. Like this dude who predicted the end of the world, or these merry-looking chaps. All were pushing their own ideological agenda, and so it is with conspiracy theories. Now I know it's not sexy, but I prefer to use logic to work things out. They were not right. The world is still here. Of course Covid-19 is serious, and we should all be aware of social distancing and all that good practice to help keep us and those around us safe and well. But we also need to be aware that fear and misinformation abound. It's interesting seeing predictions to spooky stuff, and it's spooky to watch sometimes, but fear comes from the unknown, and that is all. So start knowing, stay curious, and you might find that you'll become more powerful as a result, and that is real magic. That's it for this week then, my fellow travellers on the journey to the magical truth. I know that this was a little dark today, so I'm sorry if you're now thoroughly depressed. If, however, you liked the video, please give it a big thumbs up and subscribe for more of this stuff. If you do subscribe, remember to ding that bell to get notified of next time I upload something, otherwise you might just miss it. And connect with me down in the comments, and remember, you can always record yourself saying "stay magical," and I can add you to the end of my next video. That's it for this week. I'll be back next week with some more magical awesomeness, but until then, as always,
stay magical.
Stay magical!
Stay magical, guys.
Stay magical.
stay magical.
Please subscribe to Real World Magic.